Hi artists, we're going to use our Model Magic. This is like air dry clay or Play-Doh. It is really easy to work with, and we are going to create some creatures like this with the pack of Model Magic that you got. You could be creative, create anything you like. I haven't attached him yet, but we can shape the Model Magic and we can draw on it, or you can actually give it color while working. You can stick things like pipe cleaners into it. It's very soft and moldable. This was one of my junior high students, and she combined a zebra and a warthog to make a warbra, and then just add the lines with a black marker afterwards. So we're going to create a habitat for our creature and a creature, and this should take you 3 to 4 weeks to do. You can do something as easy, if you're a kindergartner, as a snowman. That's pretty easy to make. Or you could do a made-up creature. So the first step is to find a piece of cardboard, any kind of cardboard, any size you want. It just depends on how big you want your space. And then I used a piece of painted paper here and glued it down and then trimmed it to fit on the cardboard. So that's one way to do it. This paper, I just took crayons and rubbed different colored crayons on my paper to look like water, and then glued it down to my cardboard. That's my base. Then if you want to decorate your base like this one, you could add other painted papers, or you could use markers and you could color a path. This is just more paper that's rolled and put on there. And then this artist had some fake flowers and foliage that they added. All right, so let's get started. The first step is obviously you want to figure out what kind of creature you want to create. So like here I did a sea monster. So that's the first step. So spend some time, if you haven't figured that out yet, stop the video, spend some time, figure out what you would like to create. Then you're going to open your Model Magic once you know what you're going to create. So the Model Magic is white, but you can color it. So if you want to give it color, like this one I made green, it's really easy to do. You actually would just use a marker. So we'll make this one red. So I just kind of like to flatten it out and then just color the marker right onto the Model Magic. You could even do a rainbow and add different colors. Maybe I'll add a little blue to this one. I'll put blue on the back side. So I'm just drawing with some marker colors. And then blue and red, what color does that make? Hopefully you all said purple. And we're just going to mix it in there, and it will create different colors. So that is how you can get colors in your Model Magic. It's also kind of a fun way to make a tie-dye color. I didn't put a whole lot of marker in there, but you can see how it kind of looks like a tie-dye also. All right, so that's how you can color your Model Magic. You can also wait for it to dry. This one's dry. I sculpted it a couple days ago. And after it's dry, you can also take markers and you can draw patterns and designs onto the Model Magic. That's a really easy way to do eyes and things like that with the Model Magic. To get the detail, you can do the marker patterns after the Model Magic is dry. But you do have to be careful, because if you don't attach your Model Magic together very well, as you're coloring it, your shapes could fall off. So I like to try to keep my Model Magic all in one piece. So I'm just putting like scales on that for my sea monster. So that's how you can also decorate your Model Magic afterwards. You can also use watercolor paints. I've seen people paint these with watercolors. All right, so you saw how to make colors using markers. You can do the same thing with, like I said, watercolor paint. So the first step is to figure out what you want to do. I'm just going to do a snowman because that's pretty easy right now for the littler kiddos. So what I want to do is break my piece of Model Magic into 3 parts. So a smaller piece for the head, medium-sized piece for that middle part, and then the bigger piece for the bottom, because our snowman has to be made into circles. So now I'm going to take the Model Magic and kind of push it together into a ball. And this is just an easy way to make a ball, is put it in your hands and roll it together. If you've played with Play-Doh, it's very similar. And there's one, and I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Here's the important thing with the Model Magic, is you can't just kind of place it on there like that. It won't stick. So you really have to take it and give it a good scrunch, twist it a little bit so that it actually will stay in place. So then when it dries, it'll stay in place. You can, even if you have a craft stick, this is just the back of a paintbrush, you can even kind of press it in there together to ensure that it is connected well and it won't fall apart once it dries. If it does fall off when it dries, you can take either another piece of Model Magic and connect it together, or you can use just Elmer's white glue. Then I'll do my next piece, roll it up, and again, stick it and kind of twist it. See, this one's not sticking as well. I can tell that's going to fall right off. So I really want to kind of mush it on there to connect it. And then I can reshape it. So there's my snowman. I think he's going to stay together pretty good when he dries. Now maybe I want to add other stuff. So if you have more Model Magic, you can do things like, oh, maybe I'll make a hat. So if I want my snowman to have a hat, maybe I'll start with a flat piece that goes on his head like that. That's like the brim of the hat. And then I can make a kind of a square shape cylinder for the top of the hat. So again, I'm just rolling it in my fingers and shaping it with my fingers. I could put that right on top of him, like that for a hat. There's my hat for my snowman. And you could do other things too, like add beads, buttons, rocks you could stick in here, or you could wait till it's dry and you could glue it down. If you want a scarf, if you have ribbon, this is a pipe cleaner, but I could twist the pipe cleaner around here and give my snowman a scarf, or maybe I want to cut my pipe cleaner in half and give my snowman some arms. So I'm going to stick that wire, just stick it in there like that. So now my snowman has some arms. And then if I wanted to, I could give him a face. So I can just, again, use my marker and I can give him some eyes. You can do this when it's wet or dry. And then maybe a mouth and some buttons. I want his buttons to be square. Maybe your buttons are triangular or heart-shaped. They could be any shape you want. So have fun playing with your Model Magic. And if you make something that you don't like or it's not working out, just take that Model Magic and crunch it all back together. And you can keep it in a Ziploc baggie. And it won't dry out that way. And then you can work with it tomorrow. So maybe you just spend 2 or 3 days just playing with the Model Magic, creating different things. I like to squeeze out all the air. There you go. And then keep figuring out what you want to create. Maybe one day you make a snowman, and then you put them back in a bag and play with it the next day. Totally up to you, artists, what you do with your Model Magic. But that's Model Magic. Once you get a sculpture that you want to keep, leave it out to dry. It takes anywhere from 3 to 4 days to dry completely. And then you have your board, and then I just take white glue, and you're going to put a little glue on there and connect your creature to your board, and you have a beautiful Model Magic sculpture. All right, have fun playing with your Model Magic. Just make sure to keep it in a Ziploc baggie if you have either extra or you don't know what you want to make and you just kind of played with it for the day. Keep it in an airtight bag. It won't dry out. All right, have fun, artists.